Alright, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Demo the Warrior here, and it's a little weird saying that for the first time, but that's what the channel's called now. Uh, you can just call me Demo. You don't have to put the Warrior there, but whatever. Yeah. So this is my Raw review for March 7th, 2016, and I thought Raw was pretty decent. Better than last week, definitely. Last week was fucking boring and awful as hell, but this week it's a little better. Uh, you started off Raw pretty good with Shane McMahon coming out talking about what happened last week and saying that Mr. McMahon was out of touch and stuff. And the whole time I was listening, I was just like, preach, because Shane was saying, he's saying, if he wins at WrestleMania, the things are going to be changed. He's like, um, he's like, the authority that stops. People getting breaks that don't deserve them, that stops. A whole bunch of different stuff. He's like, you have all these guys that have all this talent, but they never get any breaks. And then he's like, then you have all these guys. He's like, then you have these guys that get a lot of breaks, but they have no talent. And I was like, Roman Reigns. That's what everybody was thinking. They're like, yeah, he's talking about Roman Reigns. But yeah. Shane was saying exactly everything the people wanted to hear. All the changes that we want is what he said. And, that's why I hope he wins at WrestleMania. But at the same time, I'm still torn because he's going against my favorite wrestler of all time. So, man. I'm trying to look towards the bigger picture. I mean, the streak's already broken, so it's not anything to where you have to worry about Undertaker losing. But if Shane does win, there's always a chance that they could swerve it and have Shane be like, oh, well, the whole time I was in cahoots with my father, and we just did that so you'd see The Undertaker lose at WrestleMania again, and now that I'm running Raw and I still have the authority and shit, that would suck. But I don't know. If Shane doesn't win, I still think they should do a brand split, have Shane run SmackDown and the Authority run Raw. I guarantee SmackDown will outdo Raw if that happens, but anyway, the segment was pretty short, about maybe 15-20 minutes. Good length, but it felt a little bit short. But it ended where Vince McMahon came out and threw a picture of him and Shane down on the floor and broke it. And then he called security on Shane, and Shane took out all the security. They got shit security in WWE. Like, I understand they're not real security guards, but they could do a better job at whatever they're trying to do, be security guards. But whatever. It was an okay segment. And then you had the first match of the night, which was Neville versus Kevin Owens. And I was like, okay, well, the match between Neville and Finn Balor was amazing. I watched it. I was like, maybe I could give Neville a chance. I honestly thought Neville was going to stay down in NXT, but I guess it's just one of those things where they go down there for like one match, or maybe a couple matches, and they come back up. And it's kind of sad to see Neville do that. Like, he's not going anywhere, that's the problem. They probably don't know what to do with Neville, and they're like, well, we got this guy with amazing talent, and, he's really good in the ring, but at the same time, we just don't know what to do with him because we got other things going on. And it sucks for Neville because, Neville probably wants to be champion and stuff, but that ain't gonna happen. So yeah, Neville versus Kevin Owens. Sorry about my voice. I'm a little under the weather. I was sick today and I didn't go to school, and I'm always gonna do a Raw review no matter what, but it was a pretty solid match. A couple cool spots. And the end was kind of, I guess, I don't know. Of course, Kevin Owens won. They got to make the champion look good, I guess, but still sucks for Neville. But Yeah, and then Kevin is attacking Neville after the match, and then Sami Zayn's music hits, and I was like, oh shit, here comes Sami. And Sami Zayn comes down to the ring, him and Kevin start going at it, and it took a little bit longer than I expected for them to start the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens rivalry going into WrestleMania, because it'll probably be Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. And it's going to be an amazing match. I can already tell from that, from their past matches of El Generico versus Kevin Steen to their battles in NXT. I know it's going to be amazing. Then after that, you had a Divas match, which was absolutely horrible. I actually sat down and watched this match because I had nothing else to do. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this Divas match. Brie Bella botches so much. I don't know what happened to Brie Bella. She used to be a lot better, but goddamn, dude. She was botching everything. Botching pins, botching moves, botching suplexes, everything. It was just botch after botch. And then Summer Rae botched the roll-up pin. By the way, it was Brie Bella versus Summer Rae, but like anybody cared anyway. But like Brie Bella should just retire already. The match kind of sucked. Like, I can't even explain how bad the match was. It was the worst match of the night. I don't even want to talk about it. That's how bad it was. But yeah, I guess Brie Bella is going to be leaving once it gets after WrestleMania, close to summertime, because I guess she wants to leave and finally be with Daniel, and then they can start a family. What the fuck ever. I don't care. Just, whatever. You can't really wrestle that much anymore, so whatever. And I heard Bad News Barrett is leaving as well because he doesn't like the way they're treating him, and he doesn't like the fact that they're not really doing anything with him, so he wants to leave. But I don't really know where he's gonna go. Let me think. I don't exactly remember what was next after that, but another match I remember like I never go in order because my mind's slipping and I forget, but there was one match where it was Dolph Ziggler. Oh yeah, the Brie Bella Summer Rae match at the end. Lana came out and did the Bella Buster to Brie Bella. I don't know what all that's about. I don't really care unless they're gonna do Brie Bella versus Lana. Eventually, whatever. Who cares? But moving on, they had Dolph Ziggler, and he had a backstage moment with Stephanie McMahon talking about. I thought Dolph Ziggler was about to start ranting or something. He was about to be like, you know what? I'm the guy that put the authority out of business. That made the authority whatever back at Survivor Series 2014, and I thought he was about to be like, I'm the guy that did that, and then nothing came of it, nothing ever happened, and I just been sitting in the same spot these past 2 years, and guys like John Cena who got to be champions, I've done nothing. I thought Dolph Ziggler was going to do something along those lines, but no. Somehow he turned it into, I did it once, and if Shane wins at WrestleMania, it'll happen again permanently. Yeah, who cares? And then Stephanie McMahon's like, okay, well, you're going to be in a 3-on-1 handicap elimination match against Rusev, Sheamus, and Bad News Barrett. Woohoo! No one gave a fuck. They really didn't, and they shouldn't. Yeah. So Dolph Ziggler eliminated Bad News Barrett. Now he's probably going to want to leave even more, being the only one getting eliminated. And then he almost eliminated Sheamus, but then Rusev broke it up, and then he got hit with the bro kick, and that was that. That match was over. Then there was another match. It was, shit, I just had it. It was, what the fuck was that match? I know there was a match where, it was, shit, I just can't remember. It was, Tyler Breeze and Kalisto. And it was a pretty okay match for those two, but it could have been better. I thought it was okay. but nothing's going to become a Tyler Breeze. Sad to say, but he is. Like, he's not going to be anything. Then they had this backstage thing where Ryback was telling Kalisto he should go out on his own, and being in a team never works, which is kind of understandable from coming from Ryback, because every time he's been in a team, it's always held him back, especially Rybacksel. That was horrible. And then you had Ryback versus Curtis Axel, which Curtis Axel, they fucking him over. I mean, like, Curtis Axel he was even getting mad about it, I heard. Like, he was saying he was mad that, he's the son of Mr. Perfect and they're not doing anything with them and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of sad. He was good when he was Intercontinental Champion when he first came in, when they were doing, like, Curtis Axel versus CM Punk and stuff like that. But then they did Rybacksel, and that ruined him and Ryback. But whatever. Then you had Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch versus Naomi and Tamina again for whatever fucking reason. No one gave a shit. And then, they won. Becky Lynch and Sasha won, I believe. I don't fucking remember. But then Charlotte attacked them. Yeah, same old. No one gave a fuck. I'm probably missing a match or two. Because I was kind of in and out for Raw, because it had a couple places where I was like, oh yeah, that's good, and then there was a couple where I was like, I'm trying to think if there was like, yeah, there was a match. I can't believe I forgot this match. It was AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, Y2AJ versus the New Day, and I have to say, I think that was the best match of the whole Raw. I think it was. But, I was on the edge of my seat, actually, because I didn't know who was going to win. And that's what I miss about Raw, I miss being on the edge of my seat and not knowing who's going to win, because one second it looked like they were going to win, the next second it looked like New Day was going to win, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know who's going to win, but then New Day won, and I was like, eh. And then Chris Jericho turned heel for the 14,000th time this year, and hit 3 code breakers to AJ Styles, and now that they're doing Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles rivalry again, and I don't know why, they don't really need to, but whatever. And then, like I said, I'm probably missing a match, but they had, the main event. I'm just gonna get to it, because, if I'm missing a match, it probably wasn't that important, but, they had Dean Ambrose going against Bray Wyatt for whatever god reason. I don't know why they did it again. Like, yeah, I like Dean Ambrose and I like Bray Wyatt, but it's just like, they fought so many times before. They had a whole big rivalry, and now they're just fighting randomly in main events. But whatever. Actually, I thought the match was pretty good, because Dean Ambrose and Bray, they were having a lot of good spots. But what pissed me off is, like, every single time Bray Wyatt wrestles, the Wyatt family always attacks the people that he's facing. That's why Bray Wyatt can never have a good match anymore, because the match never gets finished. It always ends in a DQ, because all the Wyatt family does is invade the matches. And I understand they're trying to make the Wyatt family look strong and unstoppable, but, I mean, I miss Bray Wyatt actually winning something. I miss Bray Wyatt actually starting to become something. I remember back when he was fighting John Cena, people wanted Bray Wyatt to win. People were behind Bray Wyatt. When he was fighting Undertaker, he had a purpose to win. He had a reason to win. Hell, even when he was facing Roman Reigns, to be honest, Bray Wyatt had a reason to win. Even though he didn't win any of those rivalries, now that I think about it, which is actually kind of sad, how Bray Wyatt has lost the majority of his rivalries, but, they need to do better with Bray Wyatt. And now they're doing this stupid Roadblock pay-per-view, which has all the matches they should be doing at WrestleMania, which is kind of stupid. But whatever, I thought Raw was pretty decent. Oh yeah, Boss Man's inducted in the Hall of Fame. Good for you, but that's my thoughts on this Raw. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, I apologize for my voice, but Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to, and peace.